Hello, folks. Um, so I've been, building gods, building their avatars for the Book of Two Ways. This is the 4,000-year-old ancient Egyptian Book of Two Ways, which is a map of the world, basically. So this part is showing, Hispaniola, which is the island which Haiti and the Dominican Republic are on. So, and it may be that Haiti is the real name for the island. It's hard to know what the natives called the whole island, but Haiti was either a native name for the whole island or at least part of it. So Hispaniola, it's named he whose face is dog-like. So you can see, more or less his ears. This is his face. He's there's his nose on the end. Here's his eye. Here's his mouth. He's smiling because he knows he's a good boy. And here's one big floppy ear on the top. And here's another big floppy ear on the other side, his left ear. So yeah, this is zoomed in on this part because this is how most of these gods work, is they zoom in on part of it, usually the face. So this part is actually smaller than this, but I zoomed it in. And this ear is also smaller, so I zoomed this whole part so it would be, and now it's actually even bigger than this ear. But yeah, basically that's how you do it. And then this is his front paw, this one. And not exactly sure what this is, but I'm certain that his dick is this thing. Because he's the only gatekeeper with a dick, it's kind of a doggy dick where it's kind of triangular, it's still encased in his abdomen, kind of partly, or however it is. And then, so anyway, that's this peninsula, and his back leg seems to be a little peninsula here. So I'm not sure what these other two legs signify, but I suspect they actually signify seamounts, basically underwater hazards. This hazard, I think, was probably this leg, and then this leg, I think, is some of these seamounts that go this way. But it could also just be this, an oversized representation of this small peninsula. It's hard to know for sure, but my suspicion is it either includes these seamounts, or maybe these seamounts, maybe it's from a time when they were closer to the surface, or even some of them were above the surface. And then Puerto Rico is part of his tail. So because he clearly has such a long tail, so it clearly is not just this. It's clearly also Puerto Rico. But the way it's painted, it seems like they painted it even further down here under the black. So in that case, it may also include the Virgin Islands. And basically leads to South America. I think these black lines are basically sea routes. So there's routes that start here, all the corners or something. And so from here, you can either go to South America, you can go to Mexico, or North America, or South America. Anyway, something like that. So he's a good boy. He whose face is dog-like. And I'm not sure if he has any association with Anubis. I know there's some texts that say Anubis is the first gatekeeper of the underworld. So I'm not sure if there's overlap, since Anubis is also dog-faced. So this is my local gatekeeper god, Vancouver Island in the Salish Sea. And I already basically showed that in a previous video, but I'm just, gotta pay my respects here. But there might be another version of this, but like a South American version of this. Because this is a Shang Dynasty, 11th century BC jade amulet. There might be another one. So anyway, but I've been rebuilding gods, so like from their actual components. So this is Taiwan using, it's Taiwan and Penghu. And so I've been doing that more. Here you can really see like the little details, like this curve of this coast right here is like this curve right here. And then this flat part here is like this flat part. So, and then, this skinny part at the end here is this long neck of Taiwan. So anyway, that was, I guess, the first one. I think this is the first god that I rebuilt in this way from using satellite imagery to just reconfigure the anatomy to be like the avatar. So this is another one I just did. Let's see. Well, first this one I did. Oh, well, I guess I didn't. There's another one too. See, just a second. So this one is Java, and Java with Panaitan Island and Karimun Jawa Islands and the Thousand Islands. And I'm gonna have to see if I can find this, because I know there's another one that I'm not sure if I showed in a video. Here, this is it. I have to hide this screen because I think I've got in trouble from some of the other photos in my photo library being visible that were not didn't pass YouTube muster, the information police. So yeah, this one is Java, Java with Panaitan Island, Karimun Jawa Islands there. And in this one, you cannot really see the Thousand Islands coming down. So I was trying to use the regular Google Maps instead of Google Earth, because I thought since the ocean is so opaque, it makes it easier to do this type of reconfiguration. But it turned out that actually even in regular Google Maps, the ocean is different colored in certain parts, as you can see here, but also some parts just don't show up as well. But anyway, it's pretty obvious. This is the Malay Peninsula. This is Sumatra. And then his head is Bangka Island here, and his feather or uraeus or whatever that is this peninsula and set of islands that emit from the peninsula there, kind of. So, oh yeah, and then Java's tail is the Lesser Sunda Islands. So there you go. That's them. They're in part of Indonesia. So yeah, I don't know which version is better. This version is definitely better for the island, for these, islets, small archipelagos. But anyway, so this is Cuba and Jamaica. And anyway, let's see. So, this is it in the Book of Two Ways of Seppi. And so you can see a little ear, which is this little part that pokes out there. But then these things are, I guess, the horns. And I'm really not sure why this guy is labeled as he whose face is hippopotamian. Do hippos have horns? I don't know. I need to look up hippos. But anyways, sometimes they have different associations with various different animals. So certainly not shaped overall like a hippo. So anyways, so this is his curved tail, and I obviously changed the coloring on this to, I was trying to, color it to make the land more distinct from the water. But then it turned it into this color, and I thought, well, I'll just leave it as that because that's kind of similar color to this. So, yeah, this is from Google Earth. Satellite imagery. So I just took Jamaica, which is actually like right here, or yeah, it's like right here or something, and I just moved it to there, and I tilted its angle outward a bit. So that's because I realized once I saw how far Puerto Rico is from Hispaniola, and yet it still seems to be the tail, then that means that even though Jamaica is a little bit distant from Cuba, it can still very well be part of it, part of the overall god. And I think these might be units of measurement. They could be mountains because there are also mountains here, but they might also be units of measurement based on their use in what seems to be Nova Scotia. It seems that each dot may represent about 200 kilometers. And let's see, here is Sicily, and Italy's toe here, which is, they kind of pull it apart from Sicily and then tilt it outwards. So or no, I guess they tilt it, they tilt it this way. So I think this part is actually this part here. So yeah, they fiddle with the angles of things sometimes. But so this is the body of the bull of Sicily, and this is his head is Favignana Island, and his horns are these. This is zoomed in on part of Favignana on this top side. So it's like they're kind of rounded, like the round part, and then pointy. So the only difference is the part inside is not actually scooped out. It's actually like, solid in there. But I have some suspicion that this was partly deliberately carved. And I'm starting to think that a lot of these gatekeepers were partly terraformed or like altered to conform with these with their avatars, but it's hard to prove that. And this is Baja California, and Baja. And then Natividad Island is his little ear here. Cedros Island is his head. And then these horns on the top of Cedros are his horns. And there you go. And then the Malay Peninsula. It's zoomed in on Phuket or Phuket or whatever there in Thailand, southern Thailand. So, you know, like this part is zoomed in to show how they zoomed it in on the ancient map because it was clearly an important part of this. And this part includes Singapore and the southern Riau Islands, like the Riau Archipelago and the Lingga Archipelago there. And, you know, and then you can see the kind of bottom of Sumatra, and there's Bangka Island, which is Sumatra's head. So yeah, that's about it. It's probably going to cut me off now, but see if I can just expand this. So yeah, it's clear that pretty much every one of these avatars has some part zoomed in, or some part less zoomed out, I guess, or is that it? Yeah, I guess less zoomed out, because on all maps everything is zoomed out usually from its actual size. This is just another one where I just labeled it differently. I wasn't sure whether to include Singapore or not, because it's like right up against the Malay Peninsula. Yeah, so that's my spiel. I think it should cut me off. I'm not sure why my phone is. I think it usually cuts me off about 15 minutes now. But after about 15, let me see if I have anything else interesting. So yeah, each gate has a god, a doorkeeper, and a herald. So the herald would be like Phuket. That's the thing that probably what you see that's smaller, more easily identifiable, that lets you know what gate you're at. So, and then maybe the doorkeeper would be like Singapore and the southern Riaus, and then the overall god would be like all of that whole area. Pengu is like a Japanese word for some kind of demon or something. So this one I think I might have had it wrong, because I was thinking this knife was this adjoining coast of Labrador, but it